if someone was on a plane during the president's news conference today and you had the task of in 60 seconds updating them on his appearance, the demeanor, the content of his comments, how would you sum it all up? It was a gargantuan 81-minute event.
Yeah, it was sort of the kind of news conferences he gave frequently during the campaign, or more frequently. It was rambling, it was wide-ranging, it felt very free-flowing. I think in terms of the hearing, the most salient point to me was that he said that his thoughts on this were influenced by his personal experience. He feels that he was falsely accused several times of sexual harassment, of sexual misconduct. And so when he looks at what's happening to Judge Kavanaugh, he's thinking about what happened to him. But as Bob pointed out, he also really left open the door to putting somebody else in if he's not happy with what he sees tomorrow night, which is not what Republicans on the Hill really wanted to hear. And there is a real question of timing. The reason Republicans, part of the reason they've wanted to really push this nomination through is because there's a real question of whether they could get someone else through the entire process before a new Congress could come in. And the concern there, of course, is that Republicans will lose control of the Senate, which seems like more of a possibility than it did a few months ago. So they don't want to give up this dream that they've been working for really decades of getting a conservative Supreme Court. So that's a major reason why you see them sticking with Judge Kavanaugh for as long as they have through this entire, turbulent week and a half period that we've just been witnessing.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.